our first lesson in financing, we're just going to talk about responsible consumerism. Oh, actually, first, before that, I want to talk about why this is important to discuss. So, did you know, fun fact, Jesus talked a lot about money. 16 of the 38 parables were concerned with how to handle money and possessions. In the Gospels, an amazing 1 out of 10 verses deal directly with the subject of money. The Bible offers 500 verses on prayer, less than 500 verses on faith, but more than 2,000 verses on money and possessions. Okay? So God knows that it's very important for us to have a biblical view of money because it dictates everything you do. Okay? Money influences all of your decisions. If your faith does not penetrate to your understanding of money, your faith will not live out in your whole life. Okay? It's very important. Actually, I want you to write that down. So I'm going to say it word for word. Your faith needs to penetrate into your views about money. This is because money affects all of your decisions. So if you want to actually have an authentic faith, then you need to apply it to your finances. Because if your finances influence all of your decisions, and you want your faith to make a difference in all your decisions, you must apply it to your idea of money. If you don't, then you aren't taking it as seriously as you potentially could. So I'll tell you some of the verses just from the New Testament alone. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs." Now, this verse is often misquoted. It's often misquoted as saying, money is the root of all evil. No, that's not what it's saying. It's saying the love of money is the root of all evil. The love to accumulate money, or to spend money, or to have money. It's that attachment to it that is the root of all evil, because that is making money your God. See that? Like if you make money your God, that's the root of all evil, because then God is not your God. That's why this is so important for your faith, because if you don't apply your faith to your idea of money, money will become your God. You will live for it, everything will be about money. Okay? It's very easy for that to happen. So easy. You don't even realize it's happening to you. Okay? So it's not that that money is the root of all evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. So I want you to write this one out. 1 Timothy 6:10. So write out that top one. 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. So that's things like jealousy, anger, greed, gluttony. So is it a root of all kinds of evil? Some people eager for money have wandered. Some people eager for money have wandered from the faith and pierce themselves with many griefs. Okay. And then we'll write down one more, the next one here. So the next one is Matthew 6:24. Matthew 6:24 says, and this is Jesus speaking, no one can serve two masters. No one can serve two masters, period. Either you will hate the one and love the other, comma. So either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You'll be devoted to one and despise the other, period. And then the last part of the verse says, you cannot serve both God and money. Very important. You cannot serve both God and money. Now you might ask then, well, do you just not work? Do you just not spend money? Do you not have savings? No. It means you do it responsibly. And you don't do things out of like, and this is kind of how you can tell. If you just want something for the sake of your, selfishly, I want that, you might be treating money as an idol, starting to. You have to check yourself. Okay, it's always kind of a thing. Like, perhaps I'll give you an example, okay? A personal example. My husband and I needed a vehicle. My husband wanted a brand new F-150 King Ranch Super Duty, whatever. Oh, yes. And I said no, because, well, number one, I hate that. And because we didn't need that. We just needed a reliable vehicle. So it's a good balance to have in a marriage if you kind of have different viewpoints. Because, like, my husband has a tendency to be like, yeah, let's get the biggest thing with all of the fancy things. And I'm like, no, let's not buy anything. Right? Like, and so it's a good to have a balanced perspective to reach and be like, okay, well, what does God actually need for, like, want for us, right? Okay, we needed a reliable vehicle, okay? He really wanted a truck so that we could haul stuff and help people if they're like, hey, I need a truck to move from here to here or do this. It's like, okay, we can help them with that because we have a truck. So, we compromise on a used car with a box on it. That's really what a Ranger is. It doesn't really feel like a truck. But, okay. But it's a compromise, right? Because it has the box, because we wanted the box so that we could help people move stuff. But it's not a big, fancy vehicle, but it's used and not so expensive, but it's reliable. So it's like kind of like a compromise. And sometimes you guys, in this one, this first story that you read about Rance and his decisions about buying a vehicle, you see that he goes through the process of like, well, I want this fancy sports car, and I've got the savings, but what do I need for my job? I need this, this, and this for my vehicle. What does he decide on? The more, practical one, that he's not just getting something because he just really wants it. He's getting something because it's like, okay, this is a tool, this is useful, it's a practical thing. You know, it's a responsible choice. So that's kind of how you can tell. Some more verses, Matthew 20:15, you don't have to write them down. Do I have the right to do what I want with my own money, or are you envious because I am generous? So it's just talking about your mindset about money. There's more, these are just snippets of parables, so it's kind of awkward to read just the one verse, but let's see what else we got. Lots of money stuff. Yeah, most of them are from parables, so we'll just leave it at that. But anyways, Jesus talks a lot about money because it is relevant to everybody. Currency is something that is penetrating our, it's how we function. So money applies to us. Really, money, when you think about it, is like, it's just nothing. It's just a statement, pardon? It's a piece of paper, it's a statement of like a value of tender, right? Like right? Like it's like, but really, in a sense, it's just a material thing. But it symbolizes something more, right? It's kind of crazy. I don't know. When I think about actually what money is, it's kind of interesting. And when we, from our faith, we need to think about how we actually need, this is actually, okay, the biblical view of money. God, all money that you ever get actually belongs to God. And I'll tell you why. Because He gives you the ability to work, or gives your parents the ability to work if they give you money. Your money is actually God's. He is the creator of the entire universe. He created and formed you. Everything in the whole world is His, including money. So when we think about giving back to the church, or contributing like with a tithe, that's called, okay, giving a part of your paycheck, saying, well, I'm going to give a part of my paycheck to God. No, that's not what it is. You are giving a part of what God's paycheck to you is back to the community specifically, back to your church, your parish community. So it's not that it was yours to begin with and you choose, okay, God gets to have 10%. It's God gave it all to you, and you are specifically choosing to give 10% of it to your community. You know what I'm saying? It all is God's, because He gave you the ability to actually even have money, to earn money. He could take away your ability to work if He wanted to. Okay? So let's write that down. All money I get is actually God's. This is because He is the creator of all things. He gives me the ability to work. Therefore, I have the responsibility to use God's money wisely to further His kingdom. So, and to, you know, to me, and the Bible does talk about it, especially in the Old Testament, that giving 10% back to your parish community, 10% of what you earn, should be a minimum of what you give back specifically to the kingdom. So that's not including what you donate to missions or whatever. It's like 10%. And that can seem like a lot at first. But if you make it a priority in your life, it's not so bad. And God will bless you because of it. Okay? It is something that, like, okay, so say I make $3,000 in a month. That means I automatically think, at least minimum, to me, this is important to me, that I give $300 to my local parish to continue with the work that my parish is doing. Then I give, on top of that, to other missionaries or other, you know, helping my neighbor. Okay, all that extra stuff is, you know, contributing to the kingdom. Okay? Now, a couple rules of thumb that could help you with this is when you're budgeting, when you guys are an adult, okay, you probably aren't budgeting now, but if you budget and you look at your budget of how much you spend on, like, yourself, like getting haircuts or buying, you know, new shoes or buying I don't know, an iPod or whatever you spend your money on, just extras of things you don't need. It's not like your basics, you know what I'm saying? Like all your extra stuff that your body doesn't actually physically require. If you spend more on that than you do on missions, like contributing to missions, then it's not balanced. Okay? When I do my budget, I actually make a pie chart. And one of my sections is all extras. That means like all those things that you don't actually need to buy. Okay? That includes video games, guns, ammo, skeet, all those things that I have to budget for my husband. And, you know, and then there's the other part of the pie that's our tithing and giving. If our tithing and giving is smaller than our extras, there's a problem. Because that means that we're thinking more about all of the extra things that we could have than just the basic needs of others. It puts it into perspective. It is hard to do. It is not easy. That is why not many people do it. Okay? There has been times, I'll tell you one more story.